Right, this is prefab 1, so I've got my reset copy of 3ds Max here. I'm going to start with a box, just 'cause it's a convenient shape. There we go. I'm going to make it a customize, let's see, customize unit setup to metric, okay. I'm going to give it a length of 5 meters, a width of 0.1 meters, and a height of 2.5 meters for the moment. Okay, quite high, quite wide. Convert to editable polygon. Just take this piece, Control I, get rid of the back. I could have done a plane and turned it, but I didn't feel like it. Anyway, I'd have had to tell my plane to be 1 by 1, because it's automatically 4 by 4, isn't it? So we're doing it this way. Right, that's just me move my chair, by the way. Get yourself comfy. Okay, effect pivot only, send it to object, turn effect pivot only off. Go to my top viewport and just check that. And I'm going to do a select and move. I'm going to move my X to 0, and my Y to 0, and I'm going to leave Z exactly where it is for the minute. Drop into perspective. Now I'm going to apply a plain Jane grey material to it, which I'm going to call, let me see, what shall I call it? I'll call this default building material. And if I set an auto key, set frame 2 where its opacity is 50, and set the frame 3, have opacity at 75. Okay, that way I can change the opacity of it. Let's change this to 25. There we go. See? Auto key off, go over here, change the entire length of the animation to 3 frames. Actually no, 2. There we go. Look at that. Ah, epilepsy. Right then. Colour of the default building material is fine. I'm just going to press F4 to get it edged. And what I want to do with my piece here is just start work on building out a piece that I need for the base. So if I take my biped, just grow him up to 1.7 meters. You can see that's the height of our little bipedy fellow there. Not bad. I think that should be okay. It's always useful having a biped knocking around, because then you can kind of judge your person beside it. What I'm going to do now, slam through the middle of this and do some connects. 3 should be enough. Let's slam through here. 1 connect should be enough on here, because I can chamfer it to about there. Select here, here and here. Chamfer those nice and wide, like so. And I want to keep these pits at the top in, because I like the shape. So what I'm going to do now is grab these little verts here, 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 here and here. Just do a chamfer. Okay, that gives me that shape. Control A and a weld, just to get rid of any excess verts that would be knocking around when I did that. Now, before I do much else, I'm just going to select this one and do a ring, a connect, and not an extrude, a chamfer. Because what I'm doing at the moment is making some simple kind of window shapes down here for our geezer to be standing beside. And just looking at these. Okay, let's go in here. Okay, now I'm going to use an extrude. No, I'll use a bevel, sorry. Now, good thing about bevel is, if you've never used it, basically, if you watch, I click once, drag, let go, drag. See, and that gives me my bevel shape. Never used it before, have a bit of a play with it in Poly Tools. I'm not going to be playing with it today, we're just going to be getting busy. So I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Now I'm going to do a 0 length, which is where I don't actually extrude it by any, I'll just bring it in. Now I'm going to bring it in a bit more like that. Then I'm going to do it again like this. I like to kind of carve and sculpt, you see, just using the bevel tools. Okay, now I'll take out these parts and just leave that middle bat on. Actually, no, sorry, I digress. I've got it the wrong way. I'll deselect the middle bat on, sorry. Down a tiny bit, then a zero length bevel and in, and again. This creates a lot of polygons, by the way, so if you're scared of having an awful lot of polygons, you may want to do something else. Difference is, you see, that it really gives us a very nice effect indeed. Something that we're not going to really achieve unless we use either a lot of displacement mapping, which is also covered, or, you know, well, a thoroughly good normal map, which is pretty much going down the same avenue if you ask me. Okay, that looks fine. Now, let's build some stuff around these. I'm going to go down here and do a single connect. And then down here. Down here. You'll notice this one's bent, so I'll just straighten it out. Down here. Okay, that's the first starting point for us. Now over here, I'll be using this piece and this piece first. And for this I'm going to use a bevel. Bring it out a little bit. Like that. Just going to get in close. Zero length. I control Z a lot while I'm doodling like this as well. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to do an extrude by 0. I'll do this a lot too throughout the tutorial, by the way. Bring that out to about there. Like so. Just go into the front viewport. Bring that back to about there. Just try and get a decent angle. About 45 degrees roughly. Now I'm going to extrude by 0 again. That enables me to do this. Now then, if you look, I'm not too happy with that thickness there. In my view, it's a little bit too thick. So I'm just doing marquee grabs. Bring that up a bit to there. Just some nice tweaking work, really. Try and keep the thickness as uniform as I can. Remember, it's important to marquee select. Okay. That's fine. Now let's bring this one up to about there, because we're going to bring it straight down in just a moment. Extrude by 0. Bring these down like that. And I'm just going to use the scale tool to flatten them. Now I'm going to extrude them again till I get to about there. And when I get to here, I'm going to kick in a bevel. Notice I'm just kind of doodling out the shape here. If you want to doodle out the shape, be my guest. Just when that bounding box there moves, you've reached the bottom pretty much, okay? There we go. Whoops. Let's do that again. Forgot to double click out. There we go. Okay, so we're getting a good shape here. Now this is an arch, is not an arch, so it's not going to be strong enough yet. But we can make it into an arch. So I'm just going to select these inner shapes. Here and here. And let's see, I'm going to chamfer. once, and then twice. I shouldn't need any more than that. You just can see what it's done. At least I hope you can. Now on the top, I'm just going to select these. And again, just do it once. And then again. And you see what a difference that makes. Now obviously down the side here you can see we've got a shed ton of excess polygons. Just do a Control A just to make sure that we haven't got too many. Too many verts I mean, not too many polygons. You can never have too many polygons. That was just silliness. Okay, that's fine. And that's fine. Now, with this piece selected, we can get rid of our mani here now. What I'm going to do is select here and here and do a loop chamfer like that. Now, quick drag straight down the middle there. Grab these two. Alright, now with this one, slightly more complicated than the previous one. Do an extrude. Another extrude by 0. And this time rather than a bevel, I'm just going to scale it in a bit on one side like that. Then an extrude again. Just there like that. Now, I'm going to take this bottom polygon here, like so. Sorry, no, I mean this middle polygon here, not this bottom one. And just bring it out a bit. Now you'll see we've got some loose polygons going on there for some reason, so let's go and see what's going on over here. Just increase the weld threshold a bit, not too much though, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of detail. Cancel. So a quick look over here and see what's going on. No, it's okay. I must have accidentally just chamfered it without realizing. Okay. Scale. Okay, and a quick chamfer. Like so. That gives us a much more interesting shape, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do over here is select this and this. Do an extrude. Grab there and there. Bring these down in a little bit. Okay. Then do another extrude. That should already be selected anyway, so again just straightening this out. Zero extrude. Bring it in like that. Okay, drop into perspective, because what we're looking for is a very strong outside wall here. Okay, quick bevel. There we go, to about there. I can always trim it if I need to. Now over here, where we're going to start linking things together a bit more, what I'm going to do is take these edges and just scoop them out to there. and these ones out to there. Right, now what I need to do here is select this part and select this part. Firstly, I'm going to do an inset. That's why I've done this piece here, by the way. Then I do a bevel, 0 length bevel. Just generally making what appears to be a quite well armoured and thick kind of wall piece. Like that. And I can get rid of that. And that. And it will pretty much kind of patch together quite nicely there. Okay, so that's that piece done. Now let's build the next section up. To do this, I want to get rid of these polygons and these ones. Right, can't do a loop there because it's not going to let me. So, just have to do it this way. Deselect that. Okay. Yeah, completely selected the wrong bit, so I'll just do it again. This kind of thing happens all the time, so don't worry about it. I'll just use the select tool. Okay, nearly done to there. Is that the right piece? No, it isn't. See, that would have caused problems. Right, move tool. Holding down shift, I then drag this piece up to here. Like that. I'm going to set it back a bit. Do a small rise like that. Then another one up like so. Okay, that's fine. And then up to there. Just press F4 so I can see what I'm doing. Haven't even applied a edge checks yet, but I will soon. Now if I take these three areas here, do a chamfer on them to get them nice and wide. Like that. Okay. Start with a bevel. Just generally trying to flesh out a shape here that will be useful. Try and give us an impression of how kind of thick and large the walls of this place are really. Now I can scale these back so they're all kind of equal. Really want to give an impression of size as much as anything. You notice I did an outward and then an inward bevel there. Well, you might not have noticed, but that's pretty much what I did. There we go. That gives us those kind of holes there. Right, now at the top here, I'm going to want to start to build some kind of piping work to come through. Some people may not be fans of piping work, but I use quite a lot of it. So for this I'm going to go into a separate object. I need a cylinder, one segment, 16 sides, and auto grid. Okay, that's the full length size. That's a bit too big for my liking though, so let's bring it back. We'll start out here. And what I'm going to do is create some friends for it. So I'm going to drag one to here. Then I'm going to drag both these over to here. Notice I'm cloning them as elements. This makes my job a little bit easier. Right. Now what I'm going to do is select here, 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 and there. And I'm going to do a bevel. And just get kind of started. The same way that I was doing with the windows, if you saw earlier, and things like that. It's really, it's quite relaxing to mess around with a bevel. You can get some really good shapes, and you can really kind of, I don't know, it's like kit bashing, I suppose you could say, if any of you guys remember kit bashing. Right, before I go anywhere else, I'll just stop those two. That means I can now do this. Now, one of the things I've said in the past, for anyone who's watched a 3D Palace video tutorial set, is, you know, when you look at a science fiction style object, you know full well that it's unlikely that it's ever been made, never will be made. And that's good, and that's fine. However, an important thing to remember is that in the whole kind of mythology that you're trying to get across in sci-fi, you still have to think to yourself, well, how was it made? And most of the time things are going to be more believable if you use a non-science fiction approach, which is things were made out of lots of panels and parts, which is why you've got pipe separators and things like that in here. Okay, now in the middle here, because this is still just one pipe, here we go. I can now bridge that off. I can even select here and here. Let's do a loop, backspace, and then select all my verts here, and just backspace there as well, because they ain't needed. And as you see, we've got this nice pipe here that will then go off to do, well, lots of duplicating of itself in other places. Okay, now let's bring this down to about here. And again, just a small one there. You don't want to fill it with pipes. What I've noticed in my time in doing things like this is, if I fill this entire area here with just loads and loads and loads of pipe work, it just looks crap. Whereas, you know, if I temper myself and try to avoid having pipe work absolutely everywhere, then it looks a lot more kind of, yeah, maybe that should be there after all. Maybe he's not just a lunatic who loves using the cylinder tool. Okay. Much better. See? Nice shape, very industrial, quite sturdy looking. Just the way I like them. Okay, now I'm going to use the attach tool, and I'm going to attach everything. There we are. Next, let's go up here and have a look at these segments. Now, we've got these panels here. So what I'm going to do is just use an inset, and then a small bevel, then an inset again, then a quick bevel up. You'll notice I'm not going to start adding rivets. Now, anyone who's done one of my tutorials before will know that I'm a rivet fiend and I love adding rivets to things. But if we do it too much, then we're going to have some problems. So let's not. Okay, that was fine. So over here, let's do our support. So I'm going to grab this one, do a ring, do a connect, because I want my support to come out of here. And this is very much like an... oh god, I've forgotten what the thing's called now. Tell you what, my memory gets worse by the bloody day. Never mind, anyway, you know what I mean. Right. Now, in order to get a smooth arch, if you don't want to use that method, which is very manual, what I can do is just drag this down to about here. Just clone it to an element. Then up here, where these two fellows are, I can do hinge from edge, pick my hinge, give me that one, 90 degrees, 8 segments, and that gives us this nice arch. And then I can run this down, like so. Okay, and when I get to here, do another extrude, because it seems a shame really to, you know, lose our nice detail we created down here. Okay, now you may be thinking to yourself, Chris, you handsome devil, what have you done there? Well, I'll show you. Good chamfer. And again. And here. Round that out. And the underside. Like that. Now if I select these pieces and bring them down a bit, just to about there, and then do a bevel, and out, and down. Just a little bit down though, because there's not much space. There we are. That gives us this shape here. Now, if I look at this shape here, try and decide what I want to do with it. I don't really want to bring a second level, a buttress, which was the word I was looking for, by the way, out. So looking at this, it's looking okay actually. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, over here then, and here, whoops, I'll do an inset, and a quick bevel, then another inset, and an extrude, just a little one. The reason I've done that is because I can now duplicate everything I just did there, if I so feel like it. So firstly what I'm going to do though, is assign a cut from here to here, and here over to here. Same again over this side, and there. Now some backspace deleting going on. Make sure there's no verts knocking around that we don't really want. Like that one. There's one there. Let's get rid of this one as well. Nearly done. So over here then, we can just repeat all our actions by simply pressing inset, bevel, inset, extrude. And that panels that piece in. And again here, like so. Now, like I said, I mean, this is going to give you quite a bit of polygon. I mean, we've got 7,398 just in this one section alone. So, you know, if you're feeling like your computer might suffer through this, then by all means, be as frugal as you like. However, this will make up pretty much our first layer, I think, which is a nice industrial feel. So, I'll see you in the next part.